Hello there, my name is Maurice Flynn, and I'm here today to talk to you about today's AI and how it can be useful for creative and marketing organizations. A little bit about myself. So, I've been working in this field for about 6 or 7 years now. I've worked in data related fields for more than 20 years and marketing and related areas for almost 3 decades. So, please don't hold that against me. I work for a few organisations, one of which is the FF Foundation. This is a charity dedicated to the teaching, development, and research around AI for the common good, to bring the power of AI to as many people as possible across the world. And part of this session is in order to share this learning so we can all find ways to use these powerful new technologies and make it easier and practical in day-to-day terms. Okay, so just going down to the first few slides. My background is I started to explore this space, the maths of this space, way back in my university days. Since then, worked with thousands of different companies, including some of the big names, helping apply data science and related techniques to improve our business activities. I've written some books, and I'm also a fellow of some of the big marketing and related institutions. My brother Chris has helped me with this content of this particular book, which feeds into this session, and both on the editing and the content side. Some nice testimonials there you can see on screen. So this content is all new, really just gone live in the last few weeks, and already garnering quite a lot of interest. Major investment bank, as you can see there, top UK university, some of our friends at the big marketing organisations, and also some small businesses and associations as well. And you can see there some of the companies that we're working with and partnering with. So in terms of content for today, covering off three things in principle, and I'll keep an eye on time to try and ensure we get through this as scheduled. First of all, going to give you an overview of AI and cover off some of the core questions we will have about AI today. Then we're going to move on to some case studies, look at some of the most relevant case studies related to the verticals that we're interested in today. And then going to finish up with our AI success factors, the sort of things we need to do that are a little bit easier, don't require lots of technical experts, to explore AI in any business today. As I said, the content for today comes out of a book that is going live shortly on Amazon. If anyone's interested, just get in touch and I will share the contents of that book and copies of that book as much as possible. So let's start with, what is AI today? So in general, artificial intelligence means software and machines that demonstrate equal or better than human effectiveness plus learning in complex challenges. Now, a lot of confusion about what AI means, but really, if you look at what the people who know are saying, this is the closest definition we can kind of come to. There's two types of AI that are generally talked about and paid attention to. The first we can call narrow AI, and this is where we're using the technology to solve a specific situation or problem or challenge. So it's very narrow and focused. And then the second is more general AI, and this is the stuff the newspapers and the science fiction writers write about, which is more AI that is more intelligent than humans and is possibly going to take over the planet. Now, the reality is that type of AI is very far into the future, according to all the experts. So why is AI causing all this excitement at the moment? Well, basically, in the last 10 years, there's been some big advancements. Starting around 2012, an approach called deep learning has been shown to offer rapid improvement in certain areas such as computer vision, computers understanding what they're looking at in images, text analysis. We've all seen the power of things like Google Translate, and even now content creation of content. This has caused, as always, overexcitement and a lot of fear, which is also not justified. Speaking of deep learning specifically, the issue with deep learning is that it's very effective, but we don't exactly always understand why. And as a result, we sometimes need to literally manually fiddle with the solution to get it to work. Works brilliantly, but we can't always explain why. And that's why another approach, or a related approach, if you like, these are all interrelated, called machine learning, which is much better understood, has been used for years in things like spam detection in emails, has been more widely adopted. And when you see companies talking about using AI, they're usually talking about machine learning. So how does AI work? So AI is basically a combination of really old mathematics, been around since the last century in many cases, or before, and new and ever more cheaper compute power. And we put those two things together using a variety of computer languages, and that's how AI works essentially. What the system does is then it finds patterns in historical data or content, and these patterns, once discovered, can then be used to forecast future events, or to understand images, or to even now create content. You may have heard a lot of debate around ethical AI and the ethics of AI. What do we mean by that? Well, it's a hot topic because the last thing we want to do is bake bias into these new systems. Now, at the same time, let's remember that the systems we're trying to improve are far from unbiased, because they're run by humans, and as we know, humans are rarely unbiased. So how are we going to address that? Well, one of the things we need to do is make sure the data we're feeding into these systems is representative and used fairly, in line with the risks involved with what we're trying to do, and with a let's help people first mindset. Some of the new laws around privacy, like GDPR, can help or hinder this depending on how they're applied. So the questions we need to be asking ourselves around these projects in order to have an ethical approach is, first of all, is this a high risk area where I need to take extra care, say for example things to do with healthcare? Secondly, are we improving a biased system, and therefore hopefully it's a good thing? Thirdly, are we using data that's fair and representative? And if it isn't, how can we improve our data to make it more representative of whatever we're trying to predict? And fourthly, are we aiming for some public good, in which case, great, or are we solely looking for private gain, in which case, we should proceed more cautiously? And the answers to those questions help us decide how fast we should go. So finally, do we need AI? Do I need AI in my business and my projects? Well, let's look at the near future. Most experts agree that AI is going to reach everywhere where there is software. And goodness knows, we know software gets everywhere these days. As a result, we're all going to need retraining in our work to adapt to this enhanced world, if you like. And we're also going to need to battle people trying to misuse this new technology. But the potential benefits are huge, taking capabilities to billions of people who didn't have access before. So a quick checklist that we can use to see if AI could be relevant to our daily work could be, first of all, do we have to make any business decisions, important business decisions, based on gut feel? Secondly, do we sometimes fail to use our customer or our employee data to continually improve, make things better? Thirdly, do we have competition that's very savvy with their data? And if we've answered yes to some or all of those, then we probably should be paying attention to what AI can bring to the business world. There are some challenges, of course, as always. One issue is that these projects are often slowed down by confusion around the expertise needed. And too many experts in this space love the jargon that makes this topic much harder to understand. Now, we have personally reviewed numerous AI case studies and tools and trainings, and we calculate approximately 99% of the population, the vast majority, need a simple approach. They don't have the technical skills to adapt and use many of the AI tools that are out there today. What is AI good for, finally? Well, based on all the case studies we can see out there, the research we can see out there, our own hands-on work, the top ethical opportunities we see seem to be around enhancing our limited human expert resources. So this is around data analysis, big data analysis, and prediction from that data, as well as content processing and creation. For example, in the healthcare field, around the world, we lack expert doctors and nurses in many parts of the world. If we can fill those gaps in any way through some of these techniques, hopefully that's a good thing. So the three areas that we hear most about, I think, at the moment in relation to this would be, first of all, automation. Can we automate some of the low-value tasks that bog people down in their work, freeing them up for higher value activities such as customer relations and interacting with other humans to work better, such as creativity and coming up with new ideas, new solutions. Secondly, prediction. Can we use our data to make better predictions, whether financial or HR recruitment or medical or security related, or of course marketing and sales? If we can, that's probably a good thing. And thirdly, creation. Can we create new content, or can we help ourselves create new content using some of these tools? And we look at examples of all of these. So in conclusion, AI can definitely be a force for good, putting expert capabilities in the hands of many more billions of people than ever before. We'll now go on to look at some case studies showing how companies are doing exactly that. So hold on just a second, we'll get started on that section.